There is a travel hack that many of us have known about, and some people do and take a risk. It is known as the hidden city. It's where a company called, so I'll give you an example, a company called Skiplagging displays options that are unavailable on other search engines because it's going for the hidden city. It's where you buy a multi-leg flight with a layover in a desired destination. So instead of staying and taking the whole flight, you just basically get off halfway along. In other words, you want to go A to B to C, but you actually only want to go to B, you get off halfway. Some travellers think of it as a hack. Airlines object to it because it violates their terms and conditions and actually helps destroy their monopoly on certain routes. Good example. I want to go to Miami this weekend. I could fly for $297. What the airline's actually selling me is a ticket to Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina that goes via. Frontier's direct route is considerably more expensive at $369. Aktarer Zaman is the founder and CEO of Skiplagged. He joins me from New York. Before we get into any detail, let's just clear up one thing. What this hidden city, this Skiplagging, is against the conditions of carriage of all the major US airlines. Can we agree on that?
It's against the rules for a lot of airlines, but not every airline.
All three major carriers have rules against it.
I believe so.
Right. So
But
why? So why do you do it? Why do you do? What are you selling here? You're selling the idea of somebody being able to get a cheaper city or get it to a destination by going via somewhere else, correct?
Well, my company, Skiplag, is all about showing consumers all the possible options to get from A to B. We believe like consumers have the right to know, and like this rule that you speak of, you should step back and ask, should this even really be a rule? Like all you're doing is you're buying more flights that you need and simply not using them. And it's similar to like, let's say you buy a big bag of chips and you don't finish it. Are you doing something wrong?
No, of course, absolutely not. You're not doing anything wrong. But for example, I looked at your website, and your website, you sell or you give I beg your pardon, you give a guarantee, don't you, if your ticket is cancelled, correct?
We introduced a new service called Skiplag Guarantee to kind of ease the fears that consumers might have with this sort of trick and just using Skiplag in general. This is meant to just adjust like the tiny bit of fear that people have. Like the reality is there's very low risk.
There's very low risk, and I've done it. Look, I've done it. I once was flying from Paris to New York, but I needed to end back in London, so I took a trip that would, on the return trip, end me in London, and I left the aircraft, I left the flight in London. So I have done it as well. How much can you save on these sort of hidden city tickets, do you think?
Quite a bit. Over the years, I've seen users save as much as 90% off their tickets, amounting to thousands of dollars. Actually, over the millions of people that use us, the average savings is 50% or about $180.
Now, you know as well as I do that the reason that the point-to-point ticket to the middle market is more expensive is usually either the airline has a near monopoly on it or it's a particularly important route, London, New York, Chicago, Miami, whatever it is. And therefore, there is a commercial reason that the airline prices that point-to-point different via the hidden city. That's correct. You agree?
Yes, it has to do with their market dominance. They're able to price it whatever they want, the A to B segment, and they do that because it helps them profit.
I guess the problem I have with it is that you are basically breaking the contract. I mean, again, with the major carriers, although I have to say, sir, I don't know of any large carrier that does not have this in its conditions of carriage. But you are asking, you know, at the end of the day, It has to be done with a one-way ticket, essentially. You can't have any luggage, and you do risk, if I'm not mistaken, a diversion or being, God forbid, transferred onto a non-stop flight because they think they're doing you a favour.
Sure, there's not without any risk, but over the decade that we've been in business,
Yeah.
the success rate has been almost 100%. That's because the people who take advantage of this trick to save money, they know what they have to do, which is like travel lightly. If you go on the round trip, book two one ways. There's a solution to all the issues,
Right.
and it means for a successful trip.
I'm grateful to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Press Means Business.